who have been remarkably helpful in planning this event. On behalf of my club, I would especially like to thank Angela and Aura from the International Affairs Association, as well as our panelists and moderator for their cooperation. I am pleased to introduce to you our moderator, Mr. Ashraf Hegazy. Mr. Hegazy is the Executive Director of Harvard Kennedy School's Dubai Initiative and a co-founder of the Harvard Arab Alumni Association. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Ashraf Hegazy.
Thank you very much, Maggie, and thank you to the, especially to the Egyptian community here at VU, and we hope to see an Egyptian club very soon, inshallah. It's a real pleasure to be with you today and to be with our three wonderful speakers. I am going to ask everyone first to take a few seconds and just double check your cell phones, please. Make sure they are off. If anyone's cell phone goes off, everyone rather than to just look at them and exhale very angrily. It works well. We wanted to keep it fairly open, so I've asked the panelists to only speak for 5 to 10 minutes each. What we would like to do is do sort of a quick survey of what's happened in Egypt. What was the context for the revolution? What does it mean sort of within the context of the Arab world, and what's happening elsewhere? And then we'll talk about what can we learn from the past couple of months, especially looking at the culture, the social and political challenges that we can glean from the period after the revolution. And then we'll talk about the future. What defines success for future Egypt, and what are the possible scenarios, and how do we get there? So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our three panelists, starting with Dr. Betty Anderson, who's an associate professor of Middle East history here at VU. She's the author of Nationalist Voices in Jordan, the Street and the State. And she's also authored a book that will be coming out in the fall called The American University of Beirut, Arab Nationalism and Liberal Education. Her current research focuses on the development of political parties, national identity, and educational policies in Jordan, Palestine, and Lebanon. To my left is Ms. ElTantawi, who's a PhD candidate in Islamic Studies at Harvard. She's currently finishing her dissertation looking at the stoning punishment in the Islamic tradition with a focus on northern Nigeria. Sarah was the former National Communications Director of the Muslim Public Affairs Council in DC, which is how we first met many years ago. And then to my far left, needing no introduction really, is Dr. Farouk El Baz, who is an Egyptian-American scientist who worked with NASA to assist in the planning of the scientific exploration of the moon. He focused on helping with the selection of landing sites for the Apollo missions and training the astronauts in lunar observations and photography. Currently, Dr. Baz is research professor and director of the Center for Remote Sensing here at VU, and he's also an adjunct professor of geology at the Faculty of Science at Ain Shams University of Egypt. Dr. Baz is also a member of the Board of Trustees of the Geological Society of America Foundation and a member of the U.S. National Academy of Engineering. And he recently joined the newly formed Free Egyptians Party in Egypt. So please help me in welcoming So we'll start with Dr. Anderson, and if you can give us a sense of the context, the geographic context, the political context that led to the revolution in Egypt.
Okay. I know that these two are going to be talking very specifically about Egypt, so what I want to do is talk about Egypt, but also some of the surrounding areas, because the phenomena that led to the revolution in Egypt and led to Mubarak leaving office and the changes that we're seeing in Egypt are not unique to Egypt. Egypt obviously has some unique elements to it, but it's what we're seeing in the last 10 years is some really important sea changes. And when I think about these sea changes, it's really about different levels of authority and the authority figures that have come to the fore. And obviously we saw in both Tunisia and in Egypt, what we're seeing now in Syria, we've seen in Bahrain, we've seen in Jordan, that obviously young people are